The next stage in the universe of Westeros is a prequel series called A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. It's set around 90 years before the events in A Song of Ice and Fire. I was lucky enough myself to work on set of the production as an extra, but I'll touch on this a little bit later. Fellow Irishman Peter Claffey has been cast as lead role Duncan the Tall, later knighted way down the line. The first season is planned for 6 episodes and will cover all of George R.R. Martin's first book, The Hedge Knight. Our main character is Duncan, or more commonly referred to as Dunk, and his story begins in lowly Flea Bottom of King's Landing. Dunk was an extremely tall man, an inch shy of 7 feet even in his youth. As a commoner, he had learned to survive very quickly and was formidable even before he learned to wield a sword. Particularly this is due to his size and his strength. Eventually a hedge knight, known as Sir Arlen of Pennytree, would recruit Duncan as his squire. Sir Arlen of Pennytree found Dunk in King's Landing chasing pigs. His old squire had been slain on the red grass field, so he needed someone to tend his mount and clean his meal. He promised Dunk he would teach him sword and lance and how to ride a horse. Sir Arlen had often said, "Dunk the lunk," thick as a castle wall. Dunk never forgot this. He felt at ease with it, which allowed him to play to his strengths outside of combat. Self-critical, very human, and super relatable. This is what sets him apart from most characters in Westeros, and he's ripe for a live-action adaptation. Dunk's life drastically changes one day as Sir Arlen suffers mortal wounds in combat. Whilst burying Sir Arlen, Dunk decides to take up Sir Arlen's sword and shield and enter the Ashford tourney in his name. Only knights are permitted to enter tourneys, so Dunk decides to pose as a knight, similar, I thought, to how Heath Ledger's character in A Knight's Tale, how his journey begins. Of course, being a Westeros tale, all characters come with their flaws. However, Dunk would most likely have been knighted one day by Sir Arlen anyway, so it does not really take away from how inherently good Dunk is as a person. He's still a man of high integrity and a great character. As Dunk's story in The Hedge Knight gets underway, he soon meets his counterpart, Egg, a boy of around 9 years of age. Egg is completely bald, perhaps harbouring a secret of his own. He's played by Dexter Saul Ansel, who I'd have to say had done a fantastic job on set. He had a lot of hard days and stayed on set, and for being such a young kid, he done really well. Dunk and Egg would go on to have many adventures. However, I don't really want to spoil anything from the show or get into too much detail, but I would highly recommend reading the books. They're only short and can be done in a couple of days or less. George R.R. Martin has planned for another 7 novels, but we all know how that goes. During my time on set, we mostly filmed the Ashford tourney, which is going to take up a huge chunk of the first season. We've done a little bit in the village of Ashford itself, but it was mostly the tourney scenes. It was a hell of a lot different, in my opinion, to anything we've seen so far in Westeros. We've had a tourney scene in Game of Thrones Season 1 and also House of the Dragon Season 1, but there isn't much comparison to the detail that we're going to see in this new series. HBO returned to Belfast for filming, with the majority taking place near a village called Glenarm. I worked around 30 days on set with a mixture of day shoots and night shoots. It was a lot of fun and it was easy to sign up for through the extras department. I'll add a link in the description for the extras department. Very easy to sign up for, and if you're around Northern Ireland, you can get pretty decent extras work that way. I'd love to talk more about the details, but obviously I've signed a NDA, so I'm not allowed. I will say that one particular night shoot, part of the village set of Ashford went up in flames. Luckily no one got hurt, but it was a really strange moment as we were in the middle of a take. It took a few seconds for everyone to realise what was going on as a little bit of panic set in, and next thing, the market stall was completely up in a blaze. But yeah, as I said, no one got hurt. In conclusion, I wouldn't let the recent disappointment of Season 2 of House of the Dragon put you off watching the new series, A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. The story itself is much more linear and it's on a smaller scale. I think we will see the universe gain a lot of new fans, mostly people who prefer a more grounded Knight's Tale. This has been my first video posted here on YouTube, so please leave a like and maybe subscribe if you want to hear some more. I'm planning on covering each episode of the new series as it's released, among other material from the fantasy genre along the way, whether it be games, movies, shows, even novels as well. So, yeah, cheers.